Anybody tried any of the stuff that I talked about last week about camping and all the tricks and stuff? I know quite a few people in camping. And then also last week of a habit stacking week. So that's push hard for last week. It's going to be the last week of a habit stacking challenge. And we'll get ready for the next one. But first we'll do this one. And then also I want to talk today about check-ins. I want to change them up a little bit because I want to be able to serve you guys better, right? So what I'll do is every other week I'll do we won't do check-in forms, but I'll send you a bunch of questions and I'll do a follow-up video based on those questions. So we're not just repeating the same questions, because same thing, if I have to always go back to the forum, read it. It takes me a long time, and I could be helping you guys somewhere else, right? I'm always learning, always trying to find new ways to to teach you guys as much as what I can, and look at different stuff too, right? So if you see that different questions, that's what's going on there with the check-in forms, and then we'll whichever one we can get the most use out of our time, we'll switch with those. Well, that's what we'll keep using, but I'll talk about that a little bit later. Then also talk about the event we're going to do in June. I'll do a poll in the Facebook group and in the WhatsApp group maybe to see who all wants to show up, who will show up, and what days will work best. Friday or Saturday or June 15th, June 20th, that area. Yeah, I want to have as many people show up as possible. I'll talk about what we're gonna include there. A little work session. We'll do the awards and stuff like that. But today's call, I want to talk about your workouts. We're putting in all the work. Let's mute all here. We're doing all the work. We're showing up. We want to make sure that that the works we're doing is not for nothing, right? Because when you see people go to the gym or do lift weights and have worked out for 5-10 years and you don't see any change in their body, it's normally because they don't follow structure. They have no motivation. Because they don't know, they don't have a purpose to go to the gym, right? Because your purpose to go to the gym is not to burn calories. You're not going to the gym to burn calories. I'll explain that as I go along. Your purpose to go to the gym is to be a little bit better than what you were last time. Some form of progressive overload. Your body adapts to whatever you do. Your body adapts to it real quick, and once you start practicing progressive overload, you're going to start getting more and more excited to go to the gym. You won't be able to wait to go again, see what your body's actually capable of. Because the thing is, burning calories, like I just said, you don't burn your calories going to the gym. You burn 70% of your calories burnt is actually just through breathing, living. Like you could lay in bed and burn more calories if you have a healthy body, more muscle mass, versus spending 3 hours in the gym working hard, right? And that's what you're doing in the gym. You're building muscle to burn more calories. So you can't go to the gym to work a bad diet. Because even if you think about a sports car, like if you have a Lamborghini, if you have a big engine, that thing uses a lot of fuel, and fuel, like even just at idle, uses a lot more gas. But when you do need to use that fuel, it burns a lot of calories. Same thing as muscles. Muscles is an active tissue, so just by having muscle, your body burns a lot of calories. And when you do use those muscles, that's when you're really burning calories, because even just walking up the stairs, even just taking something off your pickup box, like you're burning a lot more calories than somebody versus that doesn't have any muscles, right? And it's not and to build muscle, the muscles need a reason to grow. If they don't have a reason, like they simply won't grow. You can go to the gym, lift weights like hard, like you can actually even lift super heavy and go a challenging workout, and you can actually lose muscle working out. If your body doesn't have the proper nutrition, it's got to break down the other muscle tissues to heal those muscles, right? So the nutrition part is also important. And to build muscle, like probably heard of the word progressive overload. That's the key word that you want to learn, progressive overload. But progressive overload can mean numerous things. It can mean adding one more rep than what you did last time. It can mean adding a little bit of weight, or adding more weight than you would last time. Like if you're curling 10-pound dumbbell curls next week, if you did 12 pounds, now you're adding more weight to your muscles. Your muscles has to adapt to that new weight, right? This is where you're going to notice resting is a form of progressive overload too. Um, if you had to take a minute in between rest in the beginning, otherwise you couldn't do it. And now you can do 30 seconds. You're getting stronger, right? But also, when you're doing squats and you can only do 100 pounds and you only take 45-second rest, you'll never be able to get stronger. You need to rest, need to recover so you can actually do go heavier, right? That's when you're gonna notice. That's where your body really changes, when you need to start looking for reasons for your body to adapt. That's when you're gonna notice, man, I need to get some knee wraps. My knees give out before I can start lifting heavier or anything like that, right? That's when your form starts breaking down, then you've maxed out. You never want to sacrifice form uh, for heaviness. Time under tension can be also a form of progressive overload. Like there's going to be days where you feel weak, especially for ladies when they're on their monthly thing. Like you can lighten the weight and then you can slow down your reps a lot and work on time under tension. That's also going to be one form of progressive overload, right? Like slow down your reps, do more volume. If you're used to doing lunges, 4 sets of 12, you don't have heavy weights. Well, now you got to do 4 sets of 13, right? That, or throw the fifth set in there and do another a set of 5 with worse for 12 reps. And when you really hit that plateau, sometimes you got to set the weight down for like 10 seconds just to get that one extra rep. Sometimes you're going to need a spot. That's where band's going to come into play. That's where you're going to notice, man, I need these wrist straps. Because when you do deadlift, if you don't use wrist straps, your forearm is going to that's a very small muscle. Your forearm is going to give out long before your back gives out, right? The only reason why you hit a plateau, why you can't go heavier, is because your muscles are lacking somewhere. And it's every time you have joint pain, that's because there's a muscle that's dominant somewhere. And the longer you're in a program, like in the beginning, when you guys get a program, it's not as customized as you move along. As you move along and you set up the camera at a 45, show me your technique, and then I can know, oh, this person, if I see those knees caving in, then I know you have very weak gluteus medius, whatever, side glutes. If I see you have when you're doing rows and I can see your lower back is weak, you can have a hard time keeping out the weight. Well, your lower back's going to give out before your upper back, so then I need to put you on some chest supported rows. There's always some form of exercise that we can do to accommodate where your weakness is and what we need to work on, right? But because if you can't do that exercise, we need to figure out why and then change it. Because like the main lifts are squats, deadlifts, bench press. Like if you watch Suzanne right now, she's picking something off the floor. Anybody can do a deadlift. Like there's not one person that can't do a deadlift. If you're sitting down on a couch or on a chair to eat dinner, well, then you can do a squat. But now we want to learn how to do that effectively and slowly start adding more weight, right? But form is very, very important. You only want to start adding weight when you're comfortable with form and you're ready to go up. Because if we're doing all the work, we're doing all the stuff, we're showing up at the gym, let's make sure that we're actually progressing. Like I even have it on my phone. The phone, if I would quickly go through my notes, like back in the day, I still have it in my phone. Like all the main presses that I did, dumbbell press, bench press, squats, I always put it down there, what my numbers were. All my numbers were always in there. And then I had to figure out what can I do to increase that one number. And for deadlifts, it was always like I was able to lift it off the ground, but that was as far as I go because my upper back was very weak. So then I needed to pull back on my deadlifts and work on just my upper back in the next phase, work on my upper back so that I could start deadlifting heavier again, right? So yeah, never sacrifice form. Same as like bicep curls. If you can't curl it, don't throw it your back and don't throw it just to be able to lift a weight. Now, if you can't do it, take a little bit longer rest, or lighten the weight, and then do a few more reps, and then more reps than you last time did, and then try again adding more weight, right? And as you're hitting closer and closer to your limit, that's when your body's going to change the most. And when people go to the gym, they never find their limit because they always just go in there and jump from machine to machine. They never know. They never, their body is never challenged, right? When you start writing down, you start figuring out, man, my max squat is 225. I cannot get past that. Now you have something to work off of. What can I do to increase it, right? But just jumping machine, just winging it, you'll pretty soon you'll hate your workouts. You won't see a purpose to go to the gym. But when you have targets and goals in mind and you're working towards something, you're working to fix your weakness, pretty soon you're going to start getting very excited to go to the gym, and your body's actually going to change. Metabolism is going to increase a lot faster. But how do you find your max? It's you could do 1 rep max, but it can be dangerous. Have you seen that chart at the gym? It's kind of shows you like the last set you always want to hit failure or like right close to failure, but people's close to failure, apparently it's a very bad. You want to set up a video camera and a coach wants to see what a person calls failure. Some people they easily have 5, 6 reps left and they say failure, and the next person hit failure 3 reps ago. They're throwing at their back and doing whatever they can. You know what I mean? It's always best to, once your form is good, we're down pat, and then the last set, show me your last set. Let me show you hit failure, and then I'll know how hard you're actually pushing. But it's right close to failure.
And Martin, it's probably best to have someone there to spot you just in case, because very often you think you might be able to do it and then you actually can't do it. So then you're actually yelling, someone help me, or you have a spotter there, right?
Well, depends like on what lifts like squats, you can always set up those safety bars.
Yeah. I guess I'm thinking of bench press.
Yeah, bench press if you're really, really pushing it might be
Sure.
good. Like especially if you haven't done it before. Like I have no problem maxing out 300 pounds and just lifting it off of me. Like I just push it on my hips and just stand up and go away. But I've seen some people struggle with that. So
Well, Mark, there was a guy the other day. I don't know if he was doing it by himself, and it landed kind of on his chest towards his neck, and there was no one to help him. So he was like, kind of help, help. So I would for sure with bench press probably have someone close by to help.
but as a rule, depending how experienced people are, then I'd rather do dumbbells anyway. Because
Yeah.
dumbbells is definitely a lot more friendlier on the joints and stuff.
They would definitely have to have their form very down pat to do a barbell bench press.
Part of the reason why I asked that question is because I think it was last time you were talking about, getting your muscles used to lifting heavier weights. So when you're looking at your max, are you looking at a 1 rep max, or are you looking at like multiple reps?
Multiple reps, yeah.
Okay.
Because you can actually get very strong without putting on any muscle. Like strength and muscle are two different things, but you kind of want to train them both in phases. So like that's what I've been like telling people that have been in my program for a little bit longer. Like I do my cuts in spring. Like just works the best for me for my lifestyle because it's like right now not like the last 2 weeks have been horrible. It's been warm outside and I have to spend my time doing cardio. But for the April, May, usually like it's still cold and wet outside. There's not much to do. So that's when it's the best time to do the cardio is for me, April, May. But then in the summertime, that's when I like to build strength because then you need a lot of rest time and recovery, right? So hitting the gym 2 times a week is perfect. And if I take a week off because it's also like the body needs a lot of rest and recovery when you're lifting heavy. Then I go down to like 4 to 6 reps, go in heavy, long rest, boom, out like short workouts but heavy. So in the summertime it works perfect for me. And then comes fall, then I just start throwing in a little bit more volume. Then I up the reps back up to about 8 to 12, and start throwing a little bit more volume and lighten the load a little bit. And then in spring I start adding a bit cardio to do some cutting, but I do it in phases. If you would do 4 to 6 reps for more than 16 weeks, it would just start getting hard on your joints. Like that's pretty taxing on the body, right? Um, but that's like athletes like MMA and boxing and hockey and stuff like that. They're not looking for size, they're looking for strength. So their reps are going to be a lot lower, a lot more explosive, right? They could be just as strong as a bodybuilder without adding a muscle. Um, but when our goal is to shape our body with muscle, we're looking for a little bit more volume that forces our body to grow, right? And then also a certain amount of food and protein. And as you track your workouts and make sure you're progressing, that's when you're gonna notice like carbs and stuff. You're gonna notice, man, if I had carbs before my workout, I was a lot stronger, I had a lot more energy today. But if you come to the gym just to wing it, you're not all those key points, all those key notes, you're never gonna notice it. You're never gonna notice how your body responds to certain situations. You're never gonna notice when your body actually really needs that rest. When you do go camping, like when you go heavier like that, you're gonna notice, man, when you come back from camping, like take a week off vacation, you're always gonna have your best week after because your body finally had a week to recover, right? Like deload weeks and like that are also important when you've been pushing really heavy. But I say form, it's always form. You never want to sacrifice form. It's when you're comfortable, everything's good, then start lifting heavier and heavier. Really start pushing yourself. It's same as running. If you would run every day for 20 minutes, certain time, like it doesn't take long, it would take 2, 3 weeks, your body would adapt it to it and you would burn any calories. Like right now, like I've been walking on the treadmill, like speed 3.5, incline 15, and my heart rate will not, I can just not get it past 100 right now. So hard. That's where people set themselves back with, I've done the same thing with doing cardio while they're not in a deficit, thinking they're gonna be ahead. I did the exact same thing. And then later when I want to add cardio to push from the deficit, well, now you gotta run for 2 hours and try extra hard to push to burn those extra calories because your body adapted to that cardio already, right? That's also what these check-ins, I want to know exactly what you're doing if you're doing workouts outside of this because that tells me a lot. Because if you're doing workouts outside of this, then I can't track it. And the reason why, like I said, like I do those, like if we're in a cut doing like powerlifting style workouts is pointless because you're not going to get stronger. Our goal at that point is to maintain the muscle that we have. We're going to do the building phase later. I've had people at the end of the program say, yeah, I through these workouts in there, through those workouts in there, and then I didn't know that till it was over. And I don't blame them. Like like on Instagram and social media, you see so much stuff. Why aren't you doing this? Why aren't you doing that? Right? Social media is a very bummer the way it's set up, right? It's the way it's set up is to take people's exact words they're saying, repeating it, and then saying back the solution. So it always feels like they're talking to them, right? So I've had people say, "Hey, I found a perfect solution for this." I hear so much nonsense. It's crazy, but that's the way these reels are designed, right? To catch people's attention and then come up with a solution. Like same as like you always hear people say, if you have a problem with storing body fat at lower body fat or hips body fat stores here or there, this is the reason why. But at the end of the day, when they start coaching, they're going to coach the exact same thing. Like where your body stores fats, that's all genetics. But now if I have that problem, he's actually talking to me. What's the solution? So just be mindful. If you guys see stuff, you ever want to ask me questions about it, want me to break it down, you see something. A lot of times it's very true, but it's taken completely out of context to grab people's attention, right? I use like there's so many examples where I've done that too. I've had a coach and then I listen to another coach because I know that coach is really good too. They're both good, they both know their thing, but their methods are different timing and then it clashed and then I was setting myself back. Like when I did an MMA competition, I had my coach telling me to drop my weight when I was home, so when I was there, I could rest. And I did halfway done. I talked to this other coach, like he was in the UFC already, so he was up there too. He said, "No, no, come do it with us." That way you don't have to do it by yourself. So I stopped and listened to the coach, listened to that guy. But this guy didn't know I was already halfway done. And the body, you only have a short amount of time to lose that weight. And then pretty soon the body catches on and hold on to it. So these guys, I joined them in the morning to lose that weight. And they all were in there for about 2 hours, done. I was spending there 10 hours trying to lose my 27 pounds, just completely shot, exhausted because I was taking advice from another coach. Same thing as in business. If you would listen to Dave Ramsey for a week, use his principles, and then go listen to Grant Cardone over the weekend, you'd be broke pretty fast. They have two completely, they're both good at what they teach, but they both have very, very opposite methods of what they teach. One teaches you don't want any debt. All debt is bad debt. One guy teaches you do not want to use your own money. You just want to use other people's money. Like they print money every day. So can you imagine how quick that would butt heads? But anybody, any questions about progressive overload and making sure your workouts are going to count? Like, are you scared to push yourself heavier? You're going to hurt yourself. Work at intensity. Because if we're doing the work, we want to make sure that we're actually doing the work, that we're showing up, changing our bodies, doing what's best for us. Like, but we don't want to hurt ourselves. Like if there's pain in the body, like there's a reason we don't push through pain. If there's pain, that's the body telling you, hey, stop, there's something going on. And the body will take away all your strength so that to protect you, right? It doesn't want you to hurt yourself, so it'll take away your pain. It's if there's pain, then we need to do, and then we need to modify. But you should be making progress. The only time you won't make progress is if you're in a pretty deep cut, very low calories, and then your body's gonna tell you, hey, please stop lifting so heavy because it wants to preserve as much energy, as much calories as possible. But it's your job to still keep lifting the weights that you did. You might not be able to progress, but keep lifting those weights, because then your body is forced to keep the muscle because you're still using it, and it's forced to take from your fat. The second you're like, I've caught that too. People lose weight perfectly, and then they think, well, I'm not burning much calories lifting weights, so when it gets busy, I won't lift weights. And then they skip 3 weeks, and they're like, hey, everything was working perfect last week. So my calories test still say I haven't lost anything. So it's because their body switched from burning fat to muscles because they stopped lifting weights. Like you can clearly see on the chart how their body when their body started making that switch, right? So these check-ins, yeah, you're gonna see. I'm hoping this will save you a lot of time, will save me a lot of time. Talked a lot about the coaches. They think this is a lot more effective because then I can spend time looking at other stuff, right? Because right now, if I'm looking through all the forms, takes me a long time, and I can't. And even if I later on during the week, if I want to check it on my phone, I have to log into 2 different platforms to see it. But the more I can keep in one platform, it saves me a lot of back and forth, a lot of time. It'll be easier for you guys as well. Always want to make changes, always want to do better. Anybody have any questions? Anybody, everybody going to show up to the event, or there's certain dates you can't make it? I'm going to do a poll, and then I want you guys to vote what times, what dates would work. Because I need to for sure know how many people come up, because how much food, how much stuff we need to prepare for, right? But if nobody has any other questions, I'll throw that in the Facebook group. You guys have a good week. I'll wrap this up and head over to Calgary. The event, either June 15th, June 20th, that weekend. I'd be willing to do it on a Friday or Saturday, preferably Friday. Hopefully in June, unless more people can make it in July, but preferably now soon would be perfect. Thanks, Ron. Appreciate it. Yeah, you definitely want to show up. We'll have prizes, we'll have awards, we'll do a little bit of a work session. We'll teach you guys some stuff out there, and you get to meet other people doing the exact same thing what you're doing. Okay, well, see you guys throughout the week. I'm gonna go have some lunch and I'm out of here.